Hey, what is up guys? Welcome to my channel. Today we are building quotes app with ReactJS and Material UI. So how this thing works, we have a text field here. We see that we have a button and a progress and a total quotes number here. So if I add a quote, we see that the quote gets added down and we see we have total quotes 2 and the progress as well is increasing as per the number of quotes we have. I can add quotes, and when I reach a particular number, the button became disabled and we see that we have reached a maximum and we have to delete a quote. I can delete a quote and the button becomes active again, and if I try to input a quote without typing anything, we see this alert, which is a special component in Material UI. So this is what we are going to build. If you are new to the channel, my name is Usman, I'm a programmer and I make tutorials about programming. So if this is something that interests you, consider subscribing to my channel. Also make sure you hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. So let's step into Visual Studio Code now and start creating this application from scratch. So I have created a new folder and I have opened this folder with Visual Studio Code, and I have opened my terminal, and the thing that I will do now, I will type npx create-react app, and for the name I will call this quotes-app. But before you run this command, make sure you have Node.js installed, because without it you won't be able to run any commands and you won't be able to create your application. So I'll hit enter now, and that will start creating my React application, which will take a little bit of time. So I will come back to you when this is created. So my React application is configured and I can see my folder on the left side. So what I will do now, I will type the commands, which are cd into quotes app, and then I will hit npm start, and that will start my development server, which will take time. So I will come back to you when this is opened. So my development server is running on port 3000 and I can see that in the browser. And what we see now is what React gives us by default, just this logo which is pinning and it's disgusting. So let's go back to our application, and here inside the folder structure, let's delete the unnecessary things. So I will start with this setup.test.js file. I will delete it. I will delete the report webvitals.js. I will delete the logo. I will delete the app.css. We won't be using normal CSS in this project. We'll be using styles provided by Material UI, and I will show you how to use them later on. So here I can delete the app.test file, and I think we are good. And inside the app.js, we can delete this. We can get rid of everything inside the div with the class name of app. We can save for the moment. We can go back to our index.js file. We can delete all that stuff, and we can delete this one here, and also delete the strict mode, which can make your life harder. And let's save now and go back to the app and output an h1, which will say this is React in the browser. Let's save this, go back to our app and reload the page. We see this is React in the browser. Great. So what we will be doing right now, we will create a couple of components. If you have seen the intro, you will see that we have 3 parts of the application that we can divide into components. The first part is the title with the number of quotes we have, along with the progress bar. That can be a separate component, and the text field with the button can be another component, and also the quotes themselves, whenever we create them, can be a different component, which will be from Material UI. So what I will do is I will create a couple of folders here. And the first one will be called form group. I'll create another folder called progress, and another folder which will store the snack bar component from Material UI, and I'll call this snack bar. Actually, that shouldn't be inside the progress. It should be inside the source. So I'll say snack bar, and I will leave it like this. Great. So here inside this app.js file, what we can do now is we can convert this to an arrow function by saying const app equals an arrow function. And this h1 we can say quotes app. We can save now, and we see quotes app in the browser. Nice. So let's start also installing a couple of things we will need. I will open another terminal, and here in this terminal I will type npm install --save. That will save it as a dependency. I will say Material UI /core. This is the command we need in order to install Material UI and start using it. So it will install that as a dependency, and we will wait a little bit to install it. That might take time depending on your internet connection. Apparently my internet connection is bad. Oh, it's finished. That's great. So another thing we have to do, we have to say npm install Material UI /lab, and it will start installing this as well. And one final thing we need to install, npm install Material UI /icons, because we have a trash icon that we will be using inside our application. So after this is installed, we will be able to start using Material UI. So my packages are installed and we are ready to go. So let's close this terminal and make this smaller here. And inside the app.js file, we can start thinking about our logic. So we'll have to import a couple of things. So I'll say import. You can say React, although we don't need it at the moment, as the version of React doesn't require it to be imported, but we will import it in case you need it. You may have an error, so I'll say import React. We'll also import useState from React. Okay. After we have done this, let's go into our, let's save first of all, and let's go into our form group folder, and let's create a component called form group.js. Let's open progress folder and let's create another component called progress.js. And inside the snack bar folder, let's create a component called snackbar.js. Let's close and let's leave the form group.js and type rfca, which is a cool snippet I'm using. You can also install it from the extensions tool on the left side. And here I can convert this to an arrow function, and that component will be receiving props, just like that. And we can put our arrow, and here we can output h1. This is form group, and save. And inside the app component, we can import this component by saying import form group from /components . Actually, what I didn't create components folder. So what we can do, we can create a folder called components, and we can move everything inside this folder. I can move it. And I can move also this one. Okay, so also the snack bar, I can move this, and now we should be able to import them from this folder components. So I'll say components /form group and let's output this form group component below our h1. So we can say form group, and that can be a self-closing tag, and hit save, and we should be able to see our component in the browser. We see it. Great. So after this, let's also open our progress component and do the same. So RFCA, import React from React, convert that to an arrow function, and this component will also be receiving props. So I'll say props, arrow, and here we will return a fragment, and we'll have an h2 tag here, which for the moment will say this is progress component. And I will save and go back to the app.js file and import it. So I'll say import progress from /components progress /progress. And we can output the progress. The progress will be above everything. Actually, it will be above the h1 tag. So I'll output progress here. Again, with the self-closing tag. Let's open the browser. We see this is progress component, quotes app, and this is form. Great. Now, let's create our text field with the button, which will be inside form group component. And then we will create the progress component with the heading with the total number of quotes we'll have and the progress. So I will go back to our form group.js, and here what I will do, I will open Material UI. So I'll say Material UI and open this, and this is the official Material UI website. And we can hit get started, and here we have guides how to install Material UI. We just did this in the terminal. We installed the icons, so that's great. We can look at the components API, and here we can search for text field. So I'll search for text field. I just found it, and we see how to import text field from Material UI. So I will copy this line here. I will copy it, and I will paste it inside my form group.js component. what else we need? We also need a button. So for a button, we can search for a button and we will see that button here, which we'll be using, which is a primary button. And we can collapse this further and we can just copy this line here and paste it right here and save with the prettier. And that button will say add quote. We also have to import the button, so I can grab this line here and go back here. And now we don't have this error. We have the button. If we save now, we should be able to see our button in the browser. If I reload, it's still compiling. While it's compiling, we can also search for text field and get some text field from Material UI. Go to demos and we can click on text fields. And here the text field we'll be using will be this one here. So I'll expand for the code, and the text field which we need is actually not the final one, but this one here. So I can copy this line of code and go back here and paste it. And for the label, we won't be using a label. We just have a placeholder, and that placeholder will say add your quotes. Okay, let's save, go back, and we see our text field with the button. That's great. What else we need to do now? We can also create our progress component, and then we will start styling things. So let's go back to our progress.js file, and inside this component, let's say h2 total quotes, and leave it like this. And below this, we will have a div, and inside this div we'll have another div, and you'll see them in a moment. So if we can save now, go back to the browser, we see total quotes. Great. So let's start styling our application. Indeed, I will style everything in advance, and then we will use logic to make things work. So how we will style the things? So basically, Material UI provides us with a way to style components. If we scroll here in this example, we can see that we have const use styles equals make styles theme, and here we can define styles like an object. So I will copy this here and paste it, and I'll go back to Material UI, and I will copy this line of code here. It's this line of code which I need. So I'll copy that and paste it here inside our app component. And in order to use styles, you just need to say const classes equals use styles. So we can copy this and paste it here. We can delete this. And let's start styling. So for the root, what we'll have display, which will be flex. We will have flex direction, and that will be column. We'll have align items. Oh, come on. What is this ugly thing that I see? Oh, okay. So it will be column. And we will have align items that will be center. We'll have overflow X. We don't want any scroll bars on the X axis, so that will be hidden. Overflow X. The width will be 100%. And the font family for the application will be Berkshire Swash cursive. Okay, so let's hit print here and let's assign this to our div. And instead of div with the class name of app, we'll say classes dot root. And when I do this, we should have a change inside our app, and we see that everything moved to the center as we gave them display of flex, column, center, and yeah. So however, the font family is not the way I want it. Is it that font family? Yeah, it should be that one. Berkshire Swash. It's with lowercase. Yeah, that should be good. So let's also define another class name, which will be paper. And for the paper, we want width to be auto. We want the height to be 150 pixels. Display will be flex. Align items will be center. Justify content will be center. We'll have flex wrap. That will be equal to wrap. We will have margin, which will be 10 pixels, 20 pixels for the left and right. and we will have padding of 16 pixels and cursor of pointer. And I'll save now. Actually, the paper style will be responsible for the cart itself. So after the paper, we will have a text field, which will be with margin of 20 pixels 0. And after the text field, we'll have container. I'll hit prettier now. So container will have display of flex, align items of center. It will also be flex wrap. That will be wrap. Margin 20 pixels top and bottom, 0 pixels left and right, and a position of relative. Okay, I forgot a comma here. The comma is here and it's all good. So container, text field, paper, root. We will also have a class for a secondary heading. So that's the secondary heading will be with a margin of 10 pixels, 0 for the left and right, 10 pixels for the top and bottom. After that, for our progress bars, we'll have a progress class, and that will be width of 500 pixels, height will be 10 pixels, the background color will be F4. The position of this div will be relative. The margin will be $20 auto, and that will have a box shadow, which will be 0 pixels, 0 pixels, 2 pixels RGBA, 0, 0, 0.5. After that, we will have a class which will be progress inner, and this progress inner will have a background color of RGB, 162, 199, 241, which is light blue. What else it will have? Position will be absolute, height. This thing here really drives me crazy. So it's height, and the height will be 100%. And transition, we'll provide this div a transition, which will be 0.2 seconds ease. And finally, we will also have a class called form group. And this one, it will be with camel case, form group. Oh, finally. So form group, so display will be flex, direction will be column, align items will be center, and justify content will be center. So now if we save everything, we won't see anything yet because we need to assign those classes. So the way we do that will be by providing a prop. So here on the form group, I will say classes equals classes. I will do the same for this one, for the progress. So I'll say classes equals classes, and I'll save and go back here. So inside our progress, this heading here will be with the class name of props dot secondary. It will be props classes secondary heading. Now if I save this, they moved, and this div here will be with the class name of props classes dot progress, and this one will be with the class name of props classes dot, how did we call this, progress inner. So it will be progress inner. And if I save now, we should be able to see our progress bar, which is absolutely correct. So we have to style also this text field and button. They have to be on top of each other. So to do that, we will go back to our form group.js, and here we have a class with the name of text field. So you can say div class name first, and we can say props classes dot form group. We need to be sure that this is exactly the same name as we gave it. So form group, it's with lowercase, and for this text field we can say class name equals props classes dot text field. If we save now, we should be able to see our styles working. That's absolutely great. So let's come back. And what I will do now, after we have everything set up, we'll start writing the logic in order to make this work. So whenever we type, we need to add our quote here as a card. So to do that, I will go to Material UI and I will search for a component called container. So we can say container, we can import container here and put it inside our app.js file. And the place where we'll put the container will be below our form loop. So I will say container, and I will close it with the self-closing tag. Actually, no, it won't be a self-closing tag because inside it we will do something. So here, what we will do, we will loop through an array which we'll create in a moment, and we will output each quote. So to do that, I will do the following. Inside my app, I will say const quotes set quotes, and that will be equal to useState. And for this one will be an array initially. I will also say const text value and set text value to be equal to useState, and that will be an empty string. And also, as we'll be using the snack bar, I'll create another one called open and set open, and that will be useState, and by default that will be false. Okay, now after we have done this, let's also create a couple of event handlers, basically functions. So when we type something here, we have to have a onChange listener. So here I can say const onChange handler to be equal to an arrow function, and this arrow function will receive an event. And here what we will do, we will set the text value. So I'll say set text value to e.target that value. And what we need to do now is we need to pass this function from the parent component, which is the app.js file, to our form group component, which is the child component of app. So to do that, we will go here, go down, and inside our form group, we can say onChange handler to be equal to onChange handler. Now, inside our form group, here we can listen for this. So we can say onChange to be equal to props dot onChange handler. If I save this now and we type, nothing happens yet, but let's make this button work as well. So what we will do, we will create another handler here. So I'll say const on submit handler, which will receive an event and text value and what we will do here is the following. So whenever we type something and we want to add it, first of all, what we will do, we will have to prevent the default behavior of the browser, which is the submission. And this button will have a type of submit. Actually, it will not be any type. So here we won't have we won't have to do e.prevent default. What we will do is we will make a check. So basically we'll make the following. If text value is equal to empty string, we will do something, and else we will do something else, obviously. So inside the else block, what I will say const new quote, and that will be equal to a new object, which will have an ID, and that ID will be mat.floor mat.random multiplied by 1000, for example. We'll have also completed, deleted, that will be false, and we will also have description, which will be our text value we receive inside a function. After this is created, so after we create the new const, new quote const, what we need to do, we can say const new quotes will be an array, and we will distribute the old quotes. So I'll say quotes, the quotes are already existing, and I will assign also the new quote. The way we are doing this is because we don't want to mutate the state directly. We want to mutate the state indirectly, and you have to be aware of this. Never mutate the state directly in React. Always try to do it with the spread operator or some other way. So now, finally, after we have done this, what we can do, we can say set quotes to be equal to new quotes. Okay. And we can hit print here, and we can save now. And we can pass this onSubmit handler to our form group component. So we can also say onSubmit handler to be equal to onSubmit handler. If I save now, I'll close this for the moment and save and go back to our form group.js. And here for the button, I will say onClick, that will be equal to props.onSubmit handler. If we save now, and if I type something, nothing will happen because we are not ready with the logic. So inside the app.js file, inside this container, we can do the following. We can give this a container, the class we created. So I can say class name equals classes.container. And inside this container now, we can do quotes.map. And I can output a quote. So we say quotes.map, and here we will have another component from Material UI called paper. So to import paper, I will say paper here. And I will import paper. So I'll go up and import our paper, and I'll go down, and I will first of all leave this, and here I'll say paper and our paper will be an opening and self-closing tag. The class name of the paper will be classes.paper, and actually it won't be with open and self class, it will be like this. So you can say paper. Inside paper we will have a paragraph. So I'll say paragraph P, and here we will output quote.description. And for the paper, we can also say elevation to be equal to 1. We want it to have rounded corners, so I can say square. We also want variant to be outlined, and that's pretty much it. So now I will save and go back to my app component and put it here, but we don't see anything yet. Why we don't see this? Let's understand. So probably our onSubmit handler is not working because we need to execute a function here, and we need to provide our text value. So if I save now, and if I add quote, it's not popping out. Okay, so what is missing here is let's see. We have an onChange handler. OnSubmit handler. We can also say for this one an arrow function, event, and we can save now. We should be able to see our quote. We are not seeing our quote. And the reason for this is because we haven't provided the value prop for our form group. So inside the app.js file, what we can do is we can say value to be equal to text value, or we can say text value to be equal to text value, and I can save and I can go back to form group.js, and here for the text field I can say value to be equal to props dot text value. Now if I save and go back and add something, we see that it's blocked. And why it's blocked is because we have a mistake somewhere. And the reason why we don't see that is because we haven't provided the value as a prop to our form group. So I can say text value to be equal to text value. And here in the form group.js file, I can say value to be equals to props dot text value, and we can save this, and here we can say event, and we can pass the event and the text value, and also the same for the onChange handler. We can pass the event, and we can save now, and we can type something here, and we see our code is down, but the text field is staying like that. We have to remove what we have typed. So to do that, we can clear the text field, and inside our onSubmit handler, here we can say set text value to be an empty string. Now if I do this and go back to our app and I type something, it resets, and we can type, and now we have our quotes, but we can't delete them. So to do that, let's also import icon, so the trash icon. So I will search for icons, and I can search this for separate caps, so I can say Material UI icons, and here we can search for trash, and we can get this one. So I can copy this and go back to our application and paste it right here, and below this we can also paste our delete icon just like this. Close this, go back to our app, we add a quote, we see the quote, we see the icon, but we can't delete them. So let's create a handler for deleting. So I can say const on remove handler, which will be again an arrow function, and that function will receive the ID. So here we can say on click on the delete icon, on click will be equal to an arrow function, and we will execute on remove handler. And here we will pass quote.id. After we do that, we can come back here on our handler, and what we can basically do, we can say const old quotes, and that will be equal to an array, and we will distribute the quotes, and we can say const new quotes, and that will be equal to old quotes dot filter, and we'll filter toward quote, and we will filter out quote.id, which is not equal to id. After we do this, we can set the new state. So I can say set quotes to be equal to new quotes, and I will save now. Open my browser, type something, add the quote, click the trash icon, I can delete the quote, so it's working properly. What is not working right now is the progress bar, and we don't see our total count. So to do that, what we can do, we can go back to our progress, and here total quotes can be props dot something, and we will pass a new prop for the length of the array. So we can go back to progress component, and we'll pass a prop. So I will say quotes to be equal to quotes, and that way I will automatically have access to the length of the array of quotes. I can save, I can go back to progress.js, and I can say props dot quotes dot length. If I save now and type, we see how many quotes we have added. I can delete and it gets updated, which is perfect, but we don't see our progress moving. So to do that, we will go back to our app, and here we can do what we can do. We can define a style. So I'll say const style, and that will be an object, and the width of this will be quotes dot length and percent. And I can pass this style as a prop to our component. So I'll say here for the progress style, now pass style. If I save and go to progress, this here, this div will have a style equal to props.style. Now if I save, we go back, we can type, we see that our progress slowly moves, but it moves really slow. It shouldn't be like this, so we have to make additional logic here. I can delete all that, and here I can say quotes at length divided by 100 multiplied by 10. If I save now, we can see what happens. No, it's not working like this. Let me go back. And actually it should be the opposite. So instead of division, we can multiply, and here we can divide. And when I do this now, if I save and go back to the browser and type something, we see that it updates accordingly, and we can have 7, 8, 9, 10. If I add one more, you see that it goes beyond its border. So to fix this, we can go back to our app component and we can make a check. So if quotes.length is greater or equal to 10, then what we want is we want the style.width to be equal to 100%. So we don't want it to be more than this. We want to stop it from growing. So after I do this, I can save. And you will notice that when I add now a couple of things, so 5, 6, 8, 10, 11, it stopped growing, but this one here still tells us that we have more than 10. So to fix this as well, we can make a check inside our progress.js file, and here we can say, we can make a check. So basically we can say props dot let me just check something. We are passing here quotes props, so I can say props dot quotes dot length bigger or equal to 10. If that's the case, we want to output you reached the maximum, please delete a quote. Else, what we want to say total quotes and here we can say actually that will be with the backticks. So we can say props dot length, props dot quotes dot length. If I save now, I can add something. So I can add 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We see you reach the maximum, please delete the quote. If I delete, we have 9, 8, 7, 6, and so on. But our logic now for adding a quote without typing something, if I click, we see Actually, we don't see that because we have a if statement. So to show our Material UI snack bar, I will search for snack bar, and here I will expand this one here, and I will copy everything from, I'll copy this 2 lines, and I will go to my snack bar component, and I will say RFCA, convert this to a functional component, so const snack bar, that will equal to an arrow function. It will receive props, and the snack bar will be, first of all, I will import my snack bar and MUI alert, and then here we'll copy this function and we'll paste it here. We'll say const alert equals props arrow function, and I will return okay, we have a mistake. Type of mistake we have. Okay, shouldn't be like this. Let's delete this. Okay, now it's okay, and go back, and here we can copy this line of code here, which says snack bar up to here, and we can copy it and we can paste it here. We can save, make it prettier, and we can say for the message, we can say please add quotes. If I do this now, we can go back to our app.js file, and here inside our handler, our onSubmit handler, we can say set open to be true, and we need to pass this as a prop to this component because we have open equals open, so the snack bar will open when this is true, when we have open. So here I can import the snack bar, so I can say import snack bar from /components snack bar, and paste the snack bar. Let's say we can paste it above everything right here. So I can paste the snack bar as a self-closing component, and the snack bar will have a open prop, and we will pass open. And also, if you notice, the snack bar has also onClose function, which is called handle close. So we'll have to create this handle close function. So here, if you see this, it's already created for us. So we can copy it and we can paste it inside our app component. But we have an error here, which says JSX expressions must have one parent element. So to fix this, we can return a fragment, and that will fix our error. Yeah, it's fixed now. Let's also paste this handler somewhere here. So I can say handle close equal to the event, and we can pass this also as a prop to our snack bar. So we can say handle close to be equal to handle close. Now if I save, actually it will be on close. So on close equals to handle close, and here we'll say props that on close. We'll say props dot open. And we should be able to we can say export default snack bar. Okay, and that will be props that handle close. Now if I save everything and go back to our application, we saw a error for a moment. If I try to output this, we see this, which says please add quotes, and it's green, but we want it to be with different colors. So we can say here we can see severity equals warning. So I can say for the snack bar, we can say warning. And when I save now and go back, we see that it's yellow right now, but we don't see on close. We should have a button here to close it. So to do that, let's see what is missing. We have on close, handle close, on close, handle close twice. We have open. Okay, so we have on close, props that handle close. Okay, let's rename this to be handle close. Okay, when we handle this, and if I save now and go back, we see that we have our X button here. Nice. So I can add quotes, and we have 8, 9, 10 maximum quotes. We can't add anymore. It's working perfectly. We can delete the quote, but right now something is not the way we want. So add quote, ten, reach the maximum. How many quotes we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. I delete. We see 9. Let's add one more. Have reached the maximum. We have 10. The button is not becoming disabled. So this is the final thing we have to do. So to do that, we can do app.js file. Inside this file, we can say const disabled to be equal to quotes dot length greater or equal than 10 If that's true, we want to be true, else we want that to be false. So, and we can pass this disabled prop to our component, which is our form group. So we can go down and we can say disabled equals disabled. Save, go back to our component here, and we can say for the button, we can say disabled props.disabled. Now if I save this and go back, add something, so add 5, 6, 7, we see that the button is disabled because we have 10 quotes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I can delete and the button gets active again. We see total quotes 9. So everything is working properly. We have a nice application that manages state, uses props and components. So that was it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Sometimes it was hard because it's possible whenever you're developing React applications to have unwanted errors, but fixing that is the good way of React. You learn things by fixing things. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy the video, please make sure you subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. And thank you so much for watching once again, and I see you in the next video.